So let's bring in here the Chief Economist of HSBC in Australia, Paul Bloxham, a former economist at the Reserve Bank as well. Look, I got a sense of the strategy today, and that is accept inflation, higher inflation for longer, out until 2025, and that's to try and protect jobs. Is that your sense as to what the strategy is right now?
I think it is. The RBA has had a flexible inflation target now for 30 years, over 30 years. They set it in 1993. And amongst the central banks across the world, that's the longest period of any central bank having had a flexible inflation target.
Do you think 9 months out of 79 months, is that a reasonable score or is it not a reasonable score?
Well, again, as the Governor pointed out, the objective here is that it gives you a guidepost as to where inflation should be on average. It's not where you should be all the time. And in fact, as you point out, they haven't been in the target band very much in recent times.
Like they've barely hit the bar.
Well, this is true, but they, as you say, have averaged it. And the key thing is that you get back to it.
But surely having big overshoots or big undershoots, that's got to be damaging for the Australian economy as well.
Well, so let's talk about how they got there. The undershoot was because we had this long period globally of very low inflation, and the RBA didn't want to cut the cash rate to zero or negative. They were worried about how that might overinflate the housing market, and that was a choice they made pre-pandemic. And then, the overshoot has come about because, as the Governor pointed out, we've had these really, really enormous shocks. A once-in-a-century pandemic, big fiscal monetary stimulus, and then all the supply shortages that come along as well, plus the Russia-Ukraine war, so there's a lot of reasons for how it's been so volatile. So actually, I would argue that the strength of the system that we have is one that allows it to be volatile around an average. You can't change, that inflation was going to spike a lot on the back of the developments we saw. What you can say is, look, we have to credibly get back there over time. Now, if you draw that out a little bit further, some central banks, the RBNZ today...
Yes, let's go there.
Exactly. The RBNZ's approach is, no, we have to get that back there really quickly. And that doesn't matter. If we have to have a recession to get there, that's just the way it works. And so we think the RBNZ's already delivered one. We think New Zealand's already in a recession. So that's another choice. A choice you could make is slam the brakes on, lift interest rates substantially, get you back down to your inflation target much, much faster. And the Governor of the RBA is saying, look, we've had a flexible inflation target for a long time. We're pretty comfortable with the idea that we can be above and below for long periods, as long as we really do believe that we will get back there and as long as the community believes that.